If you're doing NoFap, meditating, reading self-help books, hitting the gym every day, doing intermittent fasting, but your life is still a mess, this video is for you. Because there's a trap nobody talks about. You can use all these practices to avoid your real life instead of improving it. And the worst part, it feels like you're making progress. Let me show you what the trap looks like. Imagine a guy who's been on NoFap for 6 months. He meditates every morning. He goes to the gym 5 times a week. He reads personal development books. He understands discipline, also can control himself, but he still hasn't applied to a single job. He doesn't leave his room except for the gym. He doesn't talk to new people. He doesn't take any real risks. He's been stuck in the exact same place for years. This guy isn't improving. He's hiding. He's using all these good practices as an excuse to avoid doing hard and boring things. Here's the difference. Real practice looks like this. I'm building discipline so I have energy and clarity to go out and build my actual life. Fake practice looks like this. If I just do enough NoFap and meditation, my life will magically improve without me having to do anything uncomfortable. Real practice is, I control my habits so I can take better action in the world. Fake practice is, I spend so much time controlling my habits that I never actually do anything in the world. See the difference? One prepares you for action, the other replaces action. So why do we fall into this trap? There's something psychologists call the Peter Pan syndrome or the eternal child. These are people who have grand visions of how their life should be. When they try to make it real, reality is boring and disappointing. So they retreat into activities that feel like progress, but are actually just comfortable escapes. For most people, that escape is video games, adult websites, social media. But for people who discover self-improvement, the escape is sneakier. It's endless, NoFap streaks, reading 100 books a year, trying every new morning routine, cold showers, 3-day fasts, meditation retreats. Let me be blunt. The real work of building a life is boring. It's updating your resume even though it sucks, applying to 50 jobs even though most will reject you, talking to that person you like even though you're scared, networking with strangers even though it's awkward, learning skills the market actually wants even if they don't excite you. None of this feels like self-improvement. It doesn't feel elevated or optimized. It's just ordinary and uncomfortable. But adding another breathing technique, extending your NoFap streak to 90 days, reading another self-help book, tweaking your morning routine again, that feels like progress. And here's the trap. Your brain mistakes feeling productive for actually being productive. Here are the signs you're stuck in the trap. You spend more time optimizing than doing. Your internal development doesn't show up as external results. You feel superior to people who don't do these practices. You justify not making real progress by saying you need more discipline or clarity first. You've been doing these practices for months or years, but your actual life hasn't changed at all. If any of this hits home, don't feel bad. I was there too, and the way out is simpler than you think. Here's how to use these practices the right way. Rule 1. Minimal practice, maximum action. Pick 2 or 3 basic habits. Maybe NoFap. 10 minutes of meditation. Gym 3 times a week. That's it. Don't add anything else until your real life actually improves. Stop optimizing. Stop trying new techniques. Stop stacking more habits. Simple action in the real world beats a complex routine in your bedroom. Rule 2. Use these practices to build your life, not avoid it. Here's what wrong looks like. I'm 120 days into NoFap, but I still don't talk to anyone. Here's what right looks like. I'm 30 days into NoFap, and this week I'm going to ask 3 people to hang out. Wrong is I meditate an hour every day, but don't apply to jobs because I don't feel ready yet. Right as I meditate 20 minutes for mental clarity, and today I'm sending 10 job applications even though it makes me anxious. Can you see the pattern? These practices are supposed to prepare you for the real world. They're not supposed to replace the real world. Rule 3. 95% of your life should be boring and ordinary. You don't need cold showers, 48-hour fasts, 2-hour morning routines, exotic supplements, or sleep trackers. You need to sleep decent hours. Eat normal food. Move your body regularly. Do real work. Talk to actual people. And yes, it's boring. That's exactly why it works. The eternal child can do heroic things when inspired. He can go 180 days on NoFap. He can meditate 2 hours straight, but he can't send one uncomfortable email every single day. Real growth happens in the boring, ordinary stuff, not the dramatic, extraordinary stuff. Rule 4. Pay costs without guarantees. This separates real action from fantasy. Can you do something uncomfortable without knowing if it'll work? Apply to that job, even though you'll probably get rejected. Talk to that person, even though they'll probably say no. Invest time learning something without guarantee it'll pay off. Move cities. Change careers. Ask for help. People caught in optimization mode want to feel totally ready before they make a move. People who actually live just act, even when they're not ready. Rule 5. These practices should push you into the world, not pull you away from it. NoFap isn't about becoming a monk. It's about having energy to connect with real people. Meditation isn't about escaping life. It's about being more present in life. The gym isn't about looking good in your mirror at home. It's about having confidence in the real world. If you've been doing these practices for months and you're going out less, talking to people less, and taking fewer risks, you're not improving. You're hiding behind the excuse of self-improvement. Let me give you a brutal honesty test. If tomorrow you met an amazing person or got your dream job, would you still care about your NoFap streak? If the honest answer is probably not, then you're using these practices to compensate for not having those things. What do you actually spend more time doing? Optimizing your routine and reading about improvement, or taking uncomfortable action in the real world? If it's the first one, you're in the trap. Here's another one. Imagine someone told you for the next 3 months, you can only do the basics. Sleep okay, eat normal, move a little. But you have to focus completely on building your career or relationships through boring everyday actions. How does that make you feel? If you feel relieved, you just needed permission to act. If you feel panic, these practices have become your escape. Look, NoFap, meditation, the gym, all of it can be amazing. It's helped me a lot, but it only works when it prepares you to live more fully, not when it replaces actually living. The sign you're doing it right is simple. Your external life gets better. Not just your streak numbers, not just your meditation stats, not just how you look, your actual, real, verifiable life. It's all about connecting with others, tackling real work, and facing genuine risks. That's where the real growth happens. If you've been doing these practices for months, and your life is the same or worse, you don't need to optimize more. You've got to take more action. So, here's the summary. Keep practice minimal. 2 or 3 basic habits max. Focus on maximum action in the real world with real people. Use these practices as preparation, not as the destination. Take risks without knowing the outcome. And most importantly, if your self-improvement routine is pulling you away from the world instead of preparing you for it, you're not improving. You're escaping. If this video made you uncomfortable, good. Discomfort is information. Leave a comment telling me which practice you might be using as an escape. See you in the next one.